The Celtic Britons of the 1st century AD are mixed in shadow and mystery and legend. In such, most of our information of them either comes from Greek traders or the Roman military, such as that is during the time of the Julius Caesar campaigns in the 1st century BC and the invasion of Emperor Claudius with the battles of Walting Street and Medway in the 1st century AD. Both campaigns gave their accounts on how the warriors fought and how they dressed for battle, as the Roman accounts state of many great warriors that fought naked on the field of battle. Now, keep in mind that the term naked does not mean that they actually fought naked. It most likely means that they were lightly armed and armored. However, there are very few accounts of warriors fighting bare-chested, showing their prowess on the field of battle, and giving insult to the Roman legions. These were most likely champion warriors. The pants and tunics that were worn were actually made of a mix of wool and linen. It is most likely that these type of clothing actually were a mix between that of stripe and checkered style clothing, or as well plain colors. In such though, the coloration were of mix, so it is hard to say. The Roman accounts though do describe them of being a brightly colored design. The footwear that was used was an everyday style of footwear that could easily be seen throughout the region of the British Isles. In fact, this style of footwear would actually be that of the infamous known as Celtic moccasins, as you would. However, of what they were really called is left unknown.
T'entends dire, oh dire, t'entends dire attends. Quello guinagal, nagaval, quello guinagal, quello guinagal, nagaval, quello guinagal.
The torque is a form of jewelry that symbolizes a free man, and in such would have even been used to show off the wealth of the wearer. As the torque was made mainly of materials like that of bronze, brass, iron, or even gold, and were created with such beautiful artwork to show off the warrior's prowess in battle.
Gwyn did Breton a galon, Gwyn did Breton. Gwyn did Breton a galon, Gwyn did Breton.
There are accounts of tightly wool jerkins that in which would be worn underneath the shirts of mail, or used as an armor alone, or sometimes a warrior did not use this armor at all, possibly because the warrior believed that he would be lighter on the field of battle. If this is true, it's hard to say. The armor was known to have actually crossed over the English Channel and into the lands of Britannia. It is highly possible that this style of armor possibly reached as far as modern-day Scotland in around the 1st century BC. However, there is little information we can go on. This armor was only meant for the most noble class of warriors, in which this armor was known to stop both cutting and thrusting style weapons. However, a well-placed, tapered thrust can easily penetrate the rings.
Guarda Gwyn vis, guadris, guarda Gwyn vis, Gwyn guarda fef, ne baef, Gwyn guarda fef. T'entends dire, oh dire, t'entends dire attends, t'entends dire, oh dire, t'entends dire attends.
belts would be worn in order to actually show where a person was from. This would be a style of clan system or tribal system, something we see later on in both Irish and Scottish military units in later centuries. Everyday warriors would use a form of short sword-like weapon. However, there are accounts of Latin-style swords being used as well. However, the longer the sword, the most likely that the said warrior was closer to the southern regions of Britannia, while in the north, the sword would be even shorter. And here's the thing, Latin-style swords are very impressively beautiful. So much so, I can say the least that these are probably one of the most beautiful weapons in the entirety of Celtic culture. And as such, would actually continue to be used in the regions of both Ireland and modern-day Scotland, up until around the 3rd to 4th century AD. Though most of these swords even add an impressive flair to them, such as a bronze-style handle in a form of a human body. These swords, though, were probably more meant for that to be used either by chieftains or Britannic kings. And as well, one of the most beautiful things about these swords is the scabbard. Beautiful works of art are on them, in which make that of our Arthurian legend almost jealous. Yeah, that's right. It's possible that the Arthurian legend copied from the Celtic-style scabbard design of beauty. And I can see why. This is beyond beautiful to think about of what these could have actually looked like. In which, though, these swords were decorated with various styles of gems, as well bone handles, or even that of just wood with gems, some with bronze or brass hilts. So, just imagine how beautiful this could have actually looked back then.
Popper clywad ywys y pelitrad pan clywad Cad pan y gyrchyn gwyneu thawneud Cad pan y gyrchyn gwyneu thawneud
Everyday Briton warrior would actually wear a type of varied style of helmets, in which the most common would actually be that of the Britannic Coolis helmet, of which can be found throughout the region of the British Isles, such as that is modern-day England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. And in such, instead of iron, the majority of these helmets were actually made of bronze. However, there are accounts that those that lived in the southern region of Britannia would also have used a Gallic-style helmets, possibly from the Gallic refugees who fled from the Roman occupation of Gaul. These were more common in the southern region of Britannia, and many people are going to wonder what's the difference between the Britannic Coolis helmet and that of the Gallic-style helmets. Well, kind of obvious what you see here. As well, the Coolis helmet of Britannia we have actually uncovered in various type of grave mounds and as well archaeological findings throughout the region of the British Isles, it can easily be said that this was a very common used helmet. Some of these, though, as you can tell, are very different compared to the continental Celts, of which this style of helmet features a type of design that, if it comes to a downward chopping blow, it would be deflected off to the side, making the user almost invulnerable to a said opponent's downward chopping blade.
Amalos rus da chalawet. Din din da darem gan no. Din din da darem gan is on. En da gwena du. En da gwena du. Adadre duria malos rus. Din din da darem gan no. Din din da darem gan is on. Din din da darem gan din din da darem gan is on. Verulles replegamar, e when you when got digo. Din din da darem gan din din da darem gan is on. E wedan out Din din da darem gan din din da darem gan is on. Eventivat na bretonet. Amalos rus da chalawet. Din din da darem gan no. Din din da darem gan is on. En da gwena du.
The shields that were used varied from region to region, and from user to user. For example, the further south you were, the more likely you were to have seen a large oval Celtic shield, while the further north you would have gone, the more likely the oval shield would have become smaller, possibly only as long as a man's arm or up to his thigh, while other accounts report of round shields also being used midway in Britannia and up to the far north, possibly depending on the user, as the accounts do claim that the diameter of the round shield varied from user to user, between that of 15 inches to 30 inches in diameter. There are accounts that javelins were being used and thrown upon the Roman legions in both the 1st century BC and into the 1st century AD. And such though, these javelins were probably more along the line of a light style design feature, as the Roman legions do describe the said spearhead bounced off of their shields with the first impact. The spears of the Britons would be varied depending on the region or the user, as some were actually meant to be for more of that of a taper style thrust to penetrate through someone's armor, while other designs were more meant for that of cutting and slashing designs, and such as is probably one of the most horrifying types of aspects that was why the Romans feared the Britons. There are accounts of both bows and slings that were used by the Celtic Britons, However, most of our accounts that we can understand describe that these weapons were most likely used only during siege or guerrilla warfare. As in major battles, there are very few to no accounts of these weapons being used, leading historians to believe that it was mostly a matter of pride and honor that determined the warrior's outcome. In such, we can see this all throughout Europe, as it was believed that the bow was a coward's weapon to fight with and a coward's weapon to die with. So much so that it was most likely only used for siege warfare rather than anything else.
Amiskis milum him, uaineranich, amiskis milum him, uaineranich dönan. Kulanto mein Brianto mein kulanto mein vojoch, kulanto mein Brianto mein hulalan amonar. Amiskis milum him, uaineranich, amiskis milum him, uaineranich dönan. Spoch nach romilaterisch, shinne wie ich jolver, rachin lat gekul na krynje var trynje sjolag. Amiskis milum him, uaineranich, amiskis milum him, uaineranich dönan. Amiskis milum him, uaineranich, amiskis milum him, uaineranich dönan.
Je